Hey everyone, Tony Walsh here. Welcome back to the channel and another edition of what's happening on the farmstead. Today we're going to talk about our pecan trees. I know I look a little bit scruffy. I just didn't feel like shaving this morning. I desperately need a haircut, so what you see is what you get. So let's turn around and look at the trees. You know, I can never remember how many trees are in this row. If I say 28, there's 29. If I say 29, there's 27. I don't think it's 30. I think it's in the high 20s. One day I'll get it ingrained into my brain and see. But, you know, on film, they look fairly decent. But with all the storms we have had, and you heard me talk about having to pick up limbs and all that, so just want to do a quick update for all my subscribers that, you know, don't know anything about the nut business, because you got to be nuts to be in the nut business. So I'm going to start on this end, and obviously you see the first tree there is dead. Now, something actually happened to it last year and it never come back out, so I don't know if Hurricane Helene finished it off, but it was already having issues before then. We actually thought this one was dead too, but you can see it is somewhat come back. That one I know we're going to take out because we want to fix the driveway going straight up to the pond there, because right now people are driving down the edge right here, so we have to rope that off when we have nuts start falling on the ground, because the county has dug that so high it's hard for people to drive up there, so we're going to have to put an official driveway. So that tree's definitely coming down. This one may be. Of all these, they are all mixed varieties. I do know that. Some of them I can tell by looking at them, some of them I can't. So when the nuts get on the ground this year, I'm going to have the local buyer come out and help me mark which ones are which. One of the problems with growing different varieties is they get ready at different times, and that can mess up your fertilizer methodology, your spraying of zinc and other things, because the trees are at different stages. Also with a single row like this, sometimes I worry about pollination. So my goal is next year I want to plant another row over in here where this is 2 rows side by side. But I want to look at this tree right here and look how big those nuts are compared to just my finger right here. And today is July the 9th. So those there have fairly good size, and you won't see a lot of what I'm going to call scab on them. But you will see it when we get to another tree. So that tree, you know, is looking pretty good. This tree here, it's also looking pretty good, and you can see this limb is heavy, so it's also, you know, got some pretty good sized nuts on it. Now one thing is, and these trees are non-irrigated. They used to be irrigated, but they're not anymore, and my plan is when I plant that other row, I can run my irrigation right down the middle and then branch off for the feeder lines to the trees. The next tree here, remember I showed you one in the yard a while back that had a cluster of 7, so that is just a cluster of 4 right there. So bunch of 2s, but I'm coming up with a bunch of empty limbs like this right here, and that I don't know why. I have those. I've got several of those in some trees. This next tree here looks like it's in fairly decent shape. Got a lot of lower limbs that next year I need to do a better job of pruning these, because one, it makes it hard for blessed Nana to mow the grass, and then 2, just don't need limbs that low to the ground, because all they're doing is robbing energy from the upper limbs and the leaves there. Now this tree here has took a hit from all the windstorms. You can see dead limbs there. You see a broke one right here, another dead one hanging in there. So they'll just have to be there to till they fall down. A lot of big orchard farmers have man lifts where they can get up there with a saw and cut them down, but I don't have that here. This here is the tree that you saw John and I twisting a limb off a couple weeks ago. Got another random dead limb right here, so you can see it's not broke, but it just died. One thing I'm worried about is they're getting too much water from the rain. You know, too much water can be just as much of a detriment as not enough water. See, this tree has a limb broke out. You can see it better on the other side. Up here. See, it's just broke off all the way up there. Again, that is literally just money falling off the tree. I don't know if you can see, wrong way. Started getting some web worms, if I can get my finger in the right spot, right there. But we have not sprayed this year. Timing with the rain just makes it almost impossible to get a spray schedule that works for me and works for the person spraying. So that's going to be a little bit of a ding on the quality of the nuts when they're time to be picked up. See, there's a broke limb right in there that fell down, or broke off. It fell down. I wish it'd fall down. Of all those storms we've had, only got one or two that's on the ground. Let's see what I have. See how small these nuts are compared to them first ones I showed you. Stick my finger there. See, that's not even to the first joint of my finger, so definitely a smaller variety. Obviously you can see the dead limb there. Got some more broke off up in there. Back in my day, I used to have about 300 trees between what we owned and what I leased. Was stupid and sold out. You know, just wanted to get out of the farming business. So, oh, dumb I was. All right, so you can see up here, that one's broke off and it's running all the way down there. We'll see it on the other side. Got some limbs here that the leaves have come off of. Obviously this one's on the ground. That's why my truck's sitting here, because I got to load it up and haul it off to the burn pile. And see what I'm talking about, scab? See how black these are? These really need to be sprayed. This is going to, that scab's really going to hurt the quality. See, there's a good example of what scab can do. It'll cut 3/4 of the price off your product. Yeah, this tree took some damage. And I'm trying to guess, I should have asked my mother-in-law again how old these trees were. I can remember them being planted, but I just don't remember how they were. You can see all this limb here. Well, and I say I don't remember them being planted, but I remember them being young, because I wasn't dating Jackie at the time. And she and I has been married 38 years. But I don't think these trees are 38 years old either, so that I'm not sure about. See, you got broke limb there, and this is hanging down. You can see another one's broke right up in there, and we've already hauled it off. I think it fell off last week. Oh, let's see. More right there. See, this bad boy's hanging down, so let's see how much weight's on it. Don't look like very many nuts, but these are a half and half. You know, just hope the scab and all doesn't get any worse. But this limb here is sure hanging down. I'll get on the other side, you can see it's almost touching the dirt. But again, more and more limbs that for some reason are dying. Got another webworm pocket right there. And that is our row of pecan trees. So if you got any questions about pecans, leave them in the comments below. What I can't answer, I'll find somebody that does. So I just wanted to do this update on my trees. You can see that the house is right there, and this is the peanut field across from the house. So should give or take 20 acres. So now we have leased this out to somebody, so not our peanuts. And they've got them planted in double rows, but I do not know what variety they are. So again, that's our what's happening on the farmstead video for this edition. Until we get back together, y'all take care and God bless.